This shot did everything right. The character has a reference sheet, the start frame is perfect, and watch what happens. Camera moves up, and the model casts someone completely different. By the end of this video, we'll find the exact line that let this person in, and we're going to close it. Last episode was same prompt, 3 different people, because nothing carries the character between generations unless you carry it over yourself. The manual fix was 3 steps. Create a character sheet, a start frame, and then create motion from that, and then a pile of bookkeeping if you're actually going to create a film. This episode, OpenStory does the bookkeeping. So back in the scene splitting episode, Analysis read the script and created a character Bible. It worked out who Noor is, her exact outfit, and the scar on her knee. And while the scenes were streaming in, it quietly created the characters too. And everything I'm about to show you was already sitting in the sequences when that episode ended. This is the prompt that I ran raw last episode, the one that cast 3 different women. In here, Noor isn't just a sound anymore, it's a pointer. The name resolves to her sheet, which goes into the image call as a reference, tagged for her identity only. And the shoes are mentioned too, pointing at the element Bible. The prompt tells the model, match this person, don't reproduce the panels. So these all came out of the same run, with no hand holding from me. It's a different scene, different lighting, different framing, same face, same outfit, same scar. So one character is easy. So here's a harder one. So this is my reshoot of 2001: A Space Odyssey. So here you see a bunch of astronauts in the frame together, and they're in near identical suits. So in this case, we've got multiple different character sheets of all the different actors and characters in this scene. So all the sheets go into the shot, they share, and each reference is labeled with who it is. Let's take a quick look at how it's built. So this is the sheet prompt. So the 4 panels are described clearly here, and you can see that we fold the style in. So the identity is split into who the person is and what the role is and what they're dressed in. Now if we open up the reference images prompt, and this is the reference block that goes into every shot render with the instruction that matters, identity consistency only. Now, if you look at motion generation options, you can see that there are only several options that go into motion. You can pass in the start frame URL, the image, the prompt, the model, duration, frames per second, and aspect ratio, and also whether to generate audio or not. But you can't pass in any further references like you can with image models. So now remember that strange we saw from the start of the video? So this is what is causing that. The character sheet stops at the image stage and it never reaches the video model. So some video models already accept character reference. So Seedance, the same model that's animating this shot, has a second endpoint called reference to video. So up to 9 images alongside the prompt, each one addressable from the prompt as image 1, image 2, and a 4-panel character sheet fits with room to spare. We've just never used it. So this is the Seedance 2 reference to video input schema, and take a look at what's missing. You only have a list of image URLs and video URLs, but you have no start frame URL. So this isn't a parameter that we can just add to the call that we already have. So shot with references is a different call, it's a different endpoint, a different prompt, different build. Here's the entire entry for the endpoint, where it lives, how its prompt addresses images, and that it takes 9 of them. The router also asks one question: does this shot have references? And does the model have one of those endpoints that does support references? If the answer is yes to both, then the whole call moves, different endpoint, different prompt, and a different build. And because the endpoint has no start frame parameter, the prompt has to say it in English. Use image 1 as a starting frame. I'll be honest, I called this a small change when I started the episode, and it wasn't one. It ended up rewiring how every motion call was made, and it does prepare us for a point in the future where maybe we don't need to use start frames at all. So let's merge this PR, then jump back into the app so that we can regenerate this frame. So I've just regenerated this shot using the new model. So it's the same motion prompt, but you'll see that now we have an optimized Seedance to reference to video prompt, which passes in the character sheet as a reference to the video. So let's play it. As we pan up, we can see that the proper character reference is maintained identically. One honest gap before we close. OpenStory's staleness tracking, these little orange dots that appear next to the prompts, doesn't know yet about the references. So if we did swap Noor's reference sheet tomorrow, the shot won't know that it needs to regenerate. That's the dependency graphs problem, a future episode, and it just grew a new edge. So that's the pattern with this whole system, honestly. Consistency isn't just one feature, it's a chain, and every generation the reference doesn't reach is a link that can break. So all this is open source, including the change I just made. You can run it, you can fork it, and if your film needs a reference somewhere that I haven't wired it yet, we can close that gap in the future, or you can raise a PR yourself to help me out. And here's one link in the chain that I haven't mentioned. Half of what makes a character consistent isn't visual at all. It's the voice. OpenStory doesn't do voice consistency yet, but that's the next video. What would it take, and why voice cloning has its own failure modes, and starting with keeping an Australian accent from drifting American by the second sentence. I look forward to speaking to you then.